For this class, you will have two group projects that you have to complete. One is writing a paper, and the other is designing a game. The paper is worth 100 points, and I'm going to explain the paper first, and then I'll explain a little bit about the group project. So the paper module is going to be right here at the top. So information, you will have to do some peer reviews, so it'll show you here how to do the peer reviews, and each group has been assigned a different bacterium. So you can see the group numbers here, and the species you've been assigned listed here. And then if you click on this link, it will take you to a Google Sheet that has all of the information about the bacterium that you'll need to complete the assignment. So you can scroll all the way through and you'll find all of the information that you need. Now, I'm going to go back to that module and kind of work through it and show you the assignments. But again, at any point, if you and your group have questions, please feel free to email me. So one of the first things you'll have to do is read and annotate some of these articles that are in the same journal that we're going to publish in. And I really want to emphasize the idea that once these papers are done, I'm going to send them to our collaborators at the Joint Genome Institute. We're going to, tighten them up, add everybody to the author list who did all the sequencing and things like that. And these should be published. So you'll be able to list them on your CV. And the other thing that you can do is put them on your LinkedIn page, things like that. Highlight the work that you've done that led to a publication or some kind of product. So the first assignment you have to do is read and annotate. This is my microbiology resource announcement. So microbiology resource announcement articles. There are going to be 3 articles in here, and I know that sounds like a lot, but in just a second, I'll show you why that's not actually a lot. And you'll want to answer these questions the best you can. You can answer them as comments on the paper, and you'll have an assignment where you submit the answers to those questions. So why is this not a big deal? This is one of the papers that I wrote with Dr. Slade, and you can see that the paper is done. It is approximately 500 words. So each paper is very short. So I'm not asking you to write, 5,000 word detailed manuscript. It's a 500 word report. So they're actually very short. So you'll have 3 of these to read. They're all of different organisms. Only one was written by me. And it kind of gives you an idea of the format of these papers, like what you'll be writing, what kind of information is included, etc. So you'll be doing that through perusal. Okay, so I'm just going to click next. It gets through all the assignments. So next, it's the same questions. You'll just submit your answers. So this assignment is individual. Reading the papers is done as an individual. Now, information about your organism. This is when you are, again, going to be working as an individual, but you're going to be working on your specific bacterium. So all of the instructions are here. You'll go to this website. You'll put the number that corresponds to your organism that was on the page I showed you before. You'll find a paper about your organism, and you'll read it, at least the introduction. Okay, so this assignment here. Okay, and they all have the due dates already posted. Everything's available. You can work ahead if you want. So each member of your group will summarize the entire paper that you've read. So each one of you has your own paper. You each find a different article. It can be the same information, the same paper that you found for the previous assignment. Okay, and you'll include that here. Okay, so your next assignment is to, again, read some papers on perusal. These are papers about how to write a paper for this journal. So best practices for writing a paper in the journal. Again, it's not terribly long or terribly detailed, so hopefully you do okay understanding it. And then after that is just some information about the Joint Genome Institute and their project for sequencing all of these organisms. So I tell you what to focus on, so as you're reading them, go ahead and focus on those things. And then the last paper is an MRA publication from a group of students at another CSU who have worked on the same Joint Genome Institute project. I did this assignment in my Med Micro class at Stan State in the fall. I have the 5 papers. I'm cleaning them up right now and going to send them to the collaborators. If those get published during the academic year before the semester is over, I'm going to share them with you so you can, again, see what it looks like and see that you as a student in this class can get a paper published with your group. The next assignment is to work on your introduction. I tell you the information I want you to include. I ask you to format the way that the journal formats. I'm going to include a video about how to do reference management software like Zotero. This is a group assignment. Only one person in the group needs to submit this, but you should be working on it together. And again, if anybody in your group is not contributing, that's something that you can let me know, and I'm happy to try to help address that concern. You'll peer review other groups' introductions. And again, these assignments are all spread out, so this is going to be a semester-long project to put together this 500-word paper. Next, how you'll do the methods section. So one of the things I want to highlight here is it may take up to 24 hours for a file to be downloaded that you have to submit, so make sure that your group starts this early. Only one person in the group needs to do this, but you need to make sure that you delegate who's going to do it, that they do it on time. Maybe a couple of you can do it just in case it doesn't work for one person or the other. So everybody needs to make sure that this gets done. It is the group's responsibility. Okay, and then there is some kind of generic language you'll need to include. I know it looks like there's a lot of stuff here, but again, it's set up as bullet points that your group can hopefully easily work through. When you have a question about what exactly is going on and you need some help interpreting, again, please email me. The due dates are posted, so you'll know when the assignment is due, but I am more than happy to help you, especially if you email me before the day it's due. If you email me March 6th at 5 o'clock, you're probably not going to get any help. But if you email me March 3rd or March 4th, you probably will get help. You'll do another peer review. You'll work on the results section. So you'll generate a table like the one shown here. You'll generate an image. So I give you like the step-by-step instructions on the information that you need to include. Again, the students in my previous class have done this, so I know that these things work. I know it's capable of being done. So any questions you have, again, let me know and I can help work out any maybe particular issue with your specific species. The next part of the results, you'll identify different virulence factors your organism might contain, different antibiotic resistance cassettes, any CRISPR regions, and if your organism is a potential pathogen. These are all web-based tools. You don't need to know how to do any sort of coding or anything like that. It's literally go to the website, upload, and interpret the results. Okay. And you have to make sure at every point that you are incorporating references for any tools you use. I tried to give you the papers here that you can cite. And again, I'll show you how to use Zotero as a reference management software. You'll do another peer review. You'll write your abstract. And you'll get your draft of your final paper. You'll get a peer review. Right? And then you'll submit your final paper, and that's due April 24th. So really, you have the whole semester to write a 500-page paper, or 500-word, sorry, not 500-page, 500-word paper. It sounds like it's a lot, But I promise as you're doing it, especially because you're working in a group, you can delegate different things. It won't be as difficult as it sounds. But please make sure that everybody in the group is participating and everybody in the group is reading and editing the document before it's submitted. Okay? So that's the paper that you'll write. The other group assignment that you have is your game. So the game project, the assignment instructions are here. You are going to be designing a game to teach students about medical microbiology. There are already some microbiology themed games available, so please don't copy those. I actually have most of them, and I'm aware of a lot of others that I don't have. So you need to be a little bit creative here. It can be any type of game you want. It can be a video game if you're good at, making video games, if that's your thing. It can be a board game. It can be a trading card game like Pokemon or Magic, or the new Disney one that came out. I even had a group once do like a Family Feud style game. So there are lots of types of games you can do to help teach these concepts. So it's a semester-long project. It is also worth 100 points. So that would be another 10% of your grade. There are lots of check-in points. I'm always happy to answer questions. So you'll choose a type of game you want to design, identify the medical microbiology concepts the game will cover. You should include things like pathogen identification and classification, antimicrobial susceptibility and resistance, the pathogenesis of various infectious diseases, and the role of the immune system. I want you to be synthesizing the material throughout the class. So it shouldn't be only bacteria. It should include bacteria, viruses, parasites, and fungi. So that's why you're working on it throughout the term, so you can incorporate the different organisms and the different concepts as we get there. You'll need to create a basic outline for the game, including the theme and concepts, the target audience, and the overall structure. You'll create a rule book or instruction manual, which is clear and concise instructions for how to play the game. And you will present the game and the rule book to the High Impact Practices Symposium, and your classmates will be there as well, and explain how the game will help players learn medical microbiology concepts and demonstrate how the game will work. So for assessing your overall project, your game design, you'll clearly define the type of game and the concepts it covers, a well-organized outline of the game's theme, and it should be creative. The quality of information is the most important. You cover a breadth of medical microbiology concepts as described above, and the information provided is accurate and up to date. Less important, but still important, is that the game materials, including the rulebook and instruction manual, are free of grammar and spelling errors, and it's well organized and easy to follow. I need to be able to play your game. And finally, you should include citations, appropriate citations for any sources of information. So if you found a primary literature source or something like that, that's important to include. And then we'll do an in-person game demo at the High Impact Practices Symposium. As long as everybody in the group does a good presentation, everybody participates, everybody explains, everybody shows how the game is played, you can all earn the full points. But if people don't show up or don't participate, then that's where the points would be deducted. So you clearly explain how the game will help players learn the concept. You demonstrate how it will work and engage the audience in your presentation. Use visual aids to support the presentation and speak confidently and clearly throughout. So if you do the math, you'll notice this adds up to 60. This adds up to 25. 60 plus 25 is 85. I said it's worth 100 points. Where do the other points come from? Well, the other points will come from, so there's your contact for group work, doing the small assignments throughout the term. So creating your group leader, choosing the type of game, updating on your game progress a couple of times, and then your final presentation and your final assignment. So that's your game project. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. But those are the 2 group projects that you're going to be working on during this semester.